Welcome to the Scale with Speed show, where every time, I'm talking every time, I'm bringing amazing guests, right? Guests that are out there delivering results, guests that are out there focusing on profitability. They're positive, they have purpose, and they have passion. And today, well, today is no different. I've got my main man, Brad, in person, which I love.
Hey guys.
It's a little tight, but we're gonna work through that. So Brad is the founder and CEO of Steadfast Results. And what I love about Steadfast Results is it is a up and coming agency that is taking the digital world by storm. And he only focuses on two things, right? And you guys hear me talk a lot about niche. These two things are, if you want qualified leads, right? Or you want online sales, Brad is the guy. Right?
Absolutely.
Welcome, Brad.
Thank you.
Thanks to have you on.
Yeah, glad to be here.
So, we talk a lot about this, and I talk to the audience, but I want to hit home today that, I believe marketing, I'm always about direct response, right? Direct response to me is, find people that have intent and let's get them and send them the right message, the right offer at the right time, right? And digital has really changed that. And then there's now a new one where people don't want digital sales reps anymore. They want actual people to be, brands to be invited in. And that's a new kind of twist on this, right? Because you've got to build trust and you've got to do a lot more things than just come out of the gate and sell, right?
That's right. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, no one likes to be sold to.
Right.
I mean, when you're online or when you're in the mall or wherever you're at, no one wants to be interrupted in their day. Even if it's something that you might like or need or want or desire, someone jumping out in front of you and putting that piece of paper or putting that ad in front of your face,
right? The
initial emotion isn't going to be a positive one.
Right.
And it could be the perfect thing for you, but just the fact that there's something that's in front of you that you weren't expecting can be a big turnoff.
Yeah.
And so people love to do their own research.
Yep.
It's just like, we like to think of marketing as a relationship,
Yep.
It's all the steps to get married. No one wants to go on their first date and have a proposal, at the end of the coffee.
Yeah. I think it's a great example for the audience. I mean, think about this, and, I'm even guilty of this. I think we're all guilty of it because we get caught up and we're passionate, right? We're caught up in whatever we're selling and whatever we believe in. And we just start to throw it out there digitally. Right. And I think the best example is, let's say you sell, coffee cups or in coffee, and it's literally like walking up to somebody you've never met before and said, buy this people, this coffee. You have no idea, where the coffee was made, what kind of coffee is it, who's drinking it now, are there any benefits, those things.
Absolutely.
Right. So as you look at this digital direct response, that's such an important component, right? It's setting up, it's building a trust, it's inviting that brand in, and then it's starting to kind of, soft flex and soft sell in what they're interested in, right?
Absolutely.
So Brad, I think it's important for everybody out there. One, if you're looking for those online leads, I'm going to plug you because I believe in you, right? I don't believe in, everybody, and I believe in you. If you're looking for online leads in online sales, this guy's the guy. And we'll do all your plugs here at the end so everybody knows where to find you. But for the audience out there that's interested in that, how do I drum up more qualified leads? How do I sell something online? Why don't you give out for free? Talk to us about the importance of content.
Absolutely. So, content marketing, we've all heard of before. We all know it's important, but not many people of us are doing it very well. And not only just creating content, but it's understanding what we call the buyer's journey. It's the 4 phases that everyone psychologically goes through when they're making a buying decision. And so you have the awareness phase. This is really of identify my pain. Do I know what I need? Am I aware that I have a need? And then you have the consideration phase where it's, hey, let me see what other people say about this. I'm aware I have a need, but now I need to kind of think through, like, what are the other players out there? What are my other options? Right. And then the evaluation is really that side-by-side comparison, right? So now that you've presented the coffee, I know that I need coffee. I'm feeling it right now. Like, man, I need some coffee. And it's like, what's the best option? Do I get Dunkin' Donuts? Right. Do I get Starbucks? Do I go to Quick Trip? And then, then it's that mental comparison of, like, cost, value, the origin, like, what do I care about? And then how's that going to make my decision?
Right.
And then finally, just the purchase phase where, people can go through this in a minute if they're standing in line at Target and they're buying a pack of gum, or it could be a week, month, or a year if you're talking about a car or home purchase. But everyone goes through this. And so what's important to know is each of the phases of that buyer's journey, you have to have very specific content. I don't want to speak to you about making your decision of coffee when I don't even know you're aware that you need coffee right now.
Sure.
So it's creating really great content that speaks to the right person at the right time. And we're not trying to just force people down to the very bottom of the funnel, right? We're trying to get them to make a purchasing decision. It's more of, hey, let me introduce you to why coffee is actually a great choice, as opposed to picking up a Coke. Did you know coffee has these benefits?
Yeah.
And once you're in that vein, you're a lot more able to make the decision of like, okay, I do want some coffee.
Right.
And so it's just thinking about for your product or service or business, how do you start conversations that are very top of funnel, just to get them warmed up. So then they're ready to buy.
Yeah.
And
so you said something I think is really interesting. So Business Insider interviewed me a few weeks back, and it was talking about the importance of content, right? And we've all heard, content is king for the last freaking 4 or 5 years. It's content is king, content. But it's strategic content, right? It's what you're talking about. I think they were asking, how, I forgot the brand. I think it was Sargento or Jarlsberg cheese, but they're starting to do these pop-up stores, and they're creating these content experiences to people to start to associate, cheese with events, right? These emotional connections, which I think is brilliant because, you mentioned something earlier, is it price? Is it value? Is it service? To me, I believe in this new marketplace, those are freaking table stakes. Right. Yeah. If you're out there right now and you're trying to compete on price, right, or some sort of value, you got to go above that, right? You got to have speed, right? We talk about this all the time, freaking speed. You need speed. But more importantly than just speed is you need that differentiator. What is that extra you're bringing to the client, right? What are you providing in a content perspective that is providing that shared experience or that shared value or that extra value for them to make that decision?
That's right. And that comes to the word brands. That's where right now more than ever, it's important to actually be building into your brands and not just the race to the bottom of a commodity. So people will make those decisions based on if they know, like, and trust you, what your brand equity is. And it's that strategic content creation that gets someone to really identify with your brand and want to make that decision for that product.
Yeah. Talk about, a lot of people out there, it's, with this device, sorry, I've got the magnet on there. It's all bright and shiny. With the iPhone now, right? I mean, this is a freaking 4K camera, right?
Yeah.
So creating content now has become easier. But I think the point that Brad and I are both aligned on here, guys and gals, is it has to be strategic. We were, in a workshop hanging with Jeremy Haynes yesterday, and going through that, it has to be strategic content, right? So if you're out there, how you build the video, what those ads say, what format they are, how long they are, what the emotional connection is, at what stage is the buyer. Is it a warm trust consideration? Is it top of the funnel? Is it middle of the funnel? Is it bottom of the funnel? I want everybody listening, Brad gets this, right? I mean, there is an art and a science to not only what I would call strategic digital direct response, how you buy and plan digital media, but also at what phase that customer is and what the strategic content is, right?
Yeah, that's right. And it's all about building that trust. And a lot of that's through authenticity. So what you just mentioned about, having the right tools, it's no longer that we have the excuse of, well, I don't have the fancy studio to shoot a video. I don't have all the right pro tools to do all the editing. I think the big thing is getting content out and with speed. Making sure the quality is there, but it's knowing your audience. I mean, there's been a test done where, there was someone that spent close to 250 grand in Facebook ads in 30 days.
Yeah.
And before they went to market, there was 20 different sets of ads and they had some very high quality production studio.
Yeah.
They had some lifestyle. Then they had some user generated content that was shot on the iPhone, baggy pants, just from the corner. And guess which ad generated the most revenue?
The cheaper.
The cheaper one.
Yeah.
Yeah. They spent all this money on these professional lifestyle, like touched up studio photography for the product. And the one that generated them, I mean, they got, I think it was close to $2 million in 30 days from this 250K ad spend. But the photo that won was the authentic user generated
So
photo.
there's two things I think it's important for the audience you hit on that are near and dear to my heart. One is testing. Always be freaking testing. Test, 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 measure, optimize. Test, 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 measure, optimize. If you're not testing, you're always going to lose, right?
That's
okay.
Absolutely right.
And the other one that you said was the quality of that content and the authenticity, right? I believe right now, people as human beings, we are so much smarter than the advertisers are giving us credit for, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, people want real shit. They want it, right? I mean, we're in this reality TV thing, whether, the Kardashians to whatever is on Bravo. I mean, people want real shit, right? And this reality TV started that movement. And I think the more real you are as a person, the more authentic that message is, the more it's going to resonate, right? So, think about that as you're doing marketing campaigns or spends. It's okay to not have a fully buttoned up, edited product. I mean, there's a time for that, for sure. But then there's also a time where people want relatability, right? And do you agree with that, Brad?
Yeah. I mean, think about, for you listeners and viewers out there, think about the last time you were on Facebook and you saw an ad that you actually clicked on.
Interesting.
Are you more likely to click on something that looks like it was shot inside of a studio with a really slick marketing headline? Or do you click that like authentic storytelling, huge value, where like the value of the proposition outweighs maybe the quality of the picture?
Right.
Someone is so excited about how this is going to change someone's life that they're just getting it out. It's that it's that scale with speed. Like, man, we just created this brand new product and it's legitimately going to change people's lives.
Right.
We are so excited about it. Like, we're not going to wait 3 weeks to get this studio shot. Like, here it is.
Yeah.
Click, post. This is going to change your life. Come check it out.
Right.
And you know what? If a month down the road they need to update that and upgrade themselves, that's the whole thing with optimization. Another word that we like to use is just upgrading. We're always upgrading our lifestyle, upgrading our cars. Like, you can start with very authentic storytelling, quick things, and then upgrade yourself. See what's working, test it, pick the winner, and don't try to fix something that's not broken, but you can always just upgrade it a little bit and make it better.
Well, the one thing I love about Brad and your agency, Steadfast Results, is you're constantly testing and optimizing,
All the
right?
time.
So for everyone out there that's looking to get qualified leads or some sort of online sale, whether you have an agency, you're doing it internally, or you should probably, work with somebody like Brad and his agency. My advice, and I think Brad, you give the same advice, is you need to test. And what I mean by that is test your media, right? So what are the ads? What is the copy? What is the content? And then so many people forget about test the experience that you're sending that consumer to, right? So often, and this is what I love about Steadfast Results, so often people forget about, they just focus on, we're spending so much money in media and ads and how are they performing? What are they doing? And then they finally get somebody to interact. They finally get somebody to click and they send them to this shitty experience, right? It's not relevant to the ad. The user doesn't have all the things that they need in order to make that informed decision.
Yes.
And you have to optimize both, right? I mean,
it's the word table stakes you use too. It's kind of like expected now, right? You have to have a beautiful experience. It better look amazing on mobile.
Yep.
It better tell a good story.
Better be fast.
It better have a good headline, a good offer, a good hook. Like, it needs all these components. And people psychologically, even if they might not be able to pick out what's wrong with it. They know. They can get to that point and just not buy because something feels off. Yeah. So we're really in that experience economy where, thanks to Amazon, and thanks to these other big players, that's just expected. You better be amazing and look amazing.
Yeah, totally.
Give me an experience.
Well, and again, what I love about that is to me, it's my concept of an inch wide and a mile deep, right? So if you want to go an inch wide and a mile deep in your marketing, listen up, folks. Focus. The small shit matters, right? Optimizing ads, optimizing your media spend, testing demographics, testing markets, testing ad types, testing copy, testing content, right, is key. But just as important is the other side of that is the asset you're driving them to. Whether it's a funnel, whether it's a landing page, whether it's a website, whether it's an in-store experience. A lot of people, you're driving them to even an in-store experience, and then your in-store experience is shit, right? Understand the entire customer journey and optimize those points along the way if you want to win.
Yeah. And the great part about testing too, when you talk about advertising, so we kind of try to think of it as two big funnels, right? You've got your advertising funnel, and then you might have a lead, but there's a nurturing process for a sale. But a lot of us forget that if someone says no, it's kind of that old sales saying,
right?
That just means like, not right now. It doesn't mean like, I'm out forever. If you worked so hard to get someone to click your ad and maybe life just got in the way and they couldn't complete that's
a good point.
transaction, like that's where retargeting comes in. That's where, if someone filled out a form and they get an email auto response and maybe you just forgot to send them another email, it's creating automated systems. That's why we love marketing automation with like chat bots and marketing automation tools and, even Facebook, and making sure that you've got a good process for people to keep going back up in that funnel, right? Hey, Judge said no now, but maybe I'm going to keep nurturing him and trying new things to get him back in. And if you do it in a very personalized way, that's not annoying. You're doing the 80-20 rule of 80% of the time. I'm trying to give you value. I'm not trying to sell you. I'm saying like, hey, don't forget why coffee is good for you.
Exactly.
And I think that's just something really important to remember as you're kind of going to the marketplace of, creating those funnels, but also creating those, like, if they don't say yes right now, our goal is to always try to get them back up on the funnel.
So a lot of people, that are out there, and I get annoyed, right? Like when you see the same ad over and over again, or you remarketed multiple times, I mean, do you have a preference for the audience of like, when's enough? When is no, right? Like, because at some point it's, you're creating friction. One, you're spending as the advertiser ad dollars that don't need to be spent on someone that's not going to convert. And you're now creating a bad experience that isn't relevant for that user. So I'm sure it varies, but is there a number you'd want to throw out that you feel good about?
Yeah, I think for email nurturing, we like to say 3 to 5. So if someone says no, it's good to have 3 to 5 kind of in your back pocket that are follow-ups. Depending on the size of purchase is going to be the amount of time in between those email sends. Right? Like I might spend a little bit more time nurturing you if you're looking to buy a Tesla and you came in to test drive. Like you are highly, highly qualified. So I might spend even like a month giving you more education about the new technology and why it's great and to get you back in, versus if you were trying to buy like an ebook and you said no, I might send you 1 or 2 emails, but I'm not going to annoy you to death. So really, I would say the size, the value of the transaction equals the amount of emails and the time in between.
And what's great is you have like a free webinar course that walks through that whole journey, how to do it, right?
Yep, I do. Yeah, thanks for doing that. So we have it's just coaching.steadfastresults.com.
And
we actually have 3 free resources. We actually walk through what we call the buyer's journey, those 4 phases. So we give away all those worksheets to help you come up with your dream customer, walk them through that journey, and then help even plan some of those emails that happen underneath. So I walk you through all of that. It's 40 minutes. It's all completely free, but that's a great place to start.
So after this, let's plug it, when this airs, why don't you plug it in the comments below so people can reach it. So Brad, any last thoughts to consider, because people are out there, they're either managing a team, they're on a team. Everybody is responsible for revenue. Listen, if you don't think you're responsible for revenue, you're wrong, right? You're following the wrong guy. You should be in the money sheet always and focusing on revenue. Right. And I believe marketing and sales, that needs to be an integrated function, period. Everybody should be focusing on revenue and sales. So everyone out there, whether you're managing a sales team, you're responsible for revenue, you're responsible for the product that you're delivering, it is all important that you're still focusing on revenue and sales. So for those people out there, any last thoughts or recommendations of things that, if you could tell anybody right now, stop doing this and start doing this as it relates to marketing, what would that be?
So I'd say 2 things. The 2 big takeaways are authenticity and automation. So I think of the 2 A's. How can you be authentic in your storytelling with your content? And then with automation, everything is moving to automation. I mean, we're both using, chat bots and email marketing. And so I would think of if you
artificial
intelligence.
Another A,
yes. So the 3 A's, right?
Yeah.
So authenticity, automation, artificial intelligence, those are the things coming in the future.
Yeah.
And there's no stopping them.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing that for your business, I would start looking into how to get on board with those 3 A's.
Okay, cool. So if you guys are interested, again, if you're looking for logo design, website bullshit, this isn't the guy. If you're looking to drive qualified leads for your organization or online sales, this is your guy. Plug your stuff. Where can people find you? Where is that, Brad?
Yeah, thank you. So you can find us on steadfastresults.com. And so you can use one of our chatbots on there too to book a meeting with me. I'd be happy to jump on the phone with you, walk you through some digital revenue consultation. That's a great place where you can find everything. And then again, the webinar was just coaching.steadfastresults.com. Bunch of free stuff there. I think there's a ton of value. You guys will love it.
And then drop your email too.
Yep. So you can reach me just at brad@steadfastresults.com. So shoot me an email. Happy to respond. And again, plugging Judge's book. I mean, just to keep it real here, like we've been going through it, right? And it's completely changed our game. So all the stuff in that book is just phenomenal. So if you guys haven't read it yet, like you're doing a disservice to yourself. So I would say read it. It's a fast read. It can, truly change your business and your life. And
thanks, Sam. I appreciate that.
And I've been fortunate enough to have you in the flesh here too, to get some coaching on this, but legitimate stuff. So thanks for your gift to the world. That's such a great book.
Thanks. So listen, we're going to wrap it. So if you guys aren't following me, you should be following me. You're listening to this. I'm trying to create a movement here. I talked about it. Brad possesses it. Passion, purpose, productivity, profitability, just general excitement, right? The more people out there that love what they do, they have passion, they're freaking fired up to go to work, man. They're killing their revenue goals. They're in the money sheet. I'm the guy to follow. At Judge Graham, almost all my social handles. Listen, my public page is maxed. It's at 5,000. Thank you, everybody, for doing that. Start following me at Judge Graham Business. That's the public page. That's at like 30, 40,000 now, which is awesome. And then the best place to reach me everywhere is judgegraham.com. And until next time, as always, you want to do it with me?
Let's do it.
Make it happen.